Oh, hi, I'm the True White Gamer, giving off my vast knowledge so you may understand games a bit better. One Piece is a series that is like really important to me. It's a really great series, and I made a lot of friends just because of this series. It's been a part of my life since I was young. Like, I remember every day reading this because it was that great. It was interesting, a lot of stories, and it really did upset one of my librarian teachers because he did not like me reading. Total jerk. But anyway, let's talk about One Piece for him.
One Piece was created by, well, still is created by Eiichiro Oda, which was actually inspired by an old show called Vicky the Viking, which I did watch for this review, and for fun, it's okay. It actually got more material after a while, which is really weird. I think I blame Oda for that because he references in the first pages of the manga. Yeah, you should totally watch it. It's kind of fun. In any case, the series follows Monkey D. Luffy on his journey to become the king of the pirates, the freest man on the sea, with his crew to find, well, the One Piece, the treasure of Gold D. Roger, former king of the pirates. But he's not the only one trying to find the One Piece, as he will face a lot of challenges and a bunch of pirates in order to achieve his dream and his crew. The series has been going strong, like a lot more stronger now since we're past Wano and with the reveal of Gear 5 in the anime, plus the live action series, which so far it's pretty good. I'm actually going to make a video after this video talking about my thoughts and feelings about it because I want to have more in-depth thoughts about it. Like, I wanted my mind to sizzle on everything about the show before I actually talked about it. So pretty much, the live action series made me want to say, hey, I haven't actually ever reviewed a One Piece game, so why don't we actually cover some? We are going to do 3 reviews. This one, World Red, and World Seeker. Why those games in particular? I just thought it would be interesting to talk about those games. And after October, I'll probably talk about One Piece Odyssey, just because I really want to talk about it. Because I have something locked in for October, so sorry about that. In fact, I need to do 2 reviews that are really on the docket.
So, where does one begin? Well, this game was made for the US. Because of the anime at the time being released, and we have to now talk about 4.
So, let's just deal with this now. It exists. And was a freaking load. Basically, it took the charm of the anime and tried to make it child-friendly, whatever that means. Seriously, it has so many meanings that I refuse to ever use it in any term. I mean, like, to give an example, a lot of people would say, you know, Adventure Time is a very kid-friendly show. Something that you would let your kid watch. One of the episodes had the actual implication of a character dying. And the character is trying to just accept that. Well, it's played off as a joke a bit. It's very serious. I mean, I could point to more series, but that's a whole other time. But let's get back on topic. The only good things about that show was the funny voice acting, which was just hilarabad, which I know for a fact that a lot of the actors in that show were pretty good. And I mean very good. Some of them actually did come back into One Piece and voiced other characters, but that's a whole other story. My point is, it was just hilariously voiced, and that One Piece opening, you know, I'll die on this hill that it was actually good. I'll die on this hill. But, let's get back onto topic. This game was actually based on the WonderSwan game. You know, basically taking all the assets from that game into this new game they made and developed for. Ironically, there was never a sequel for this game, even though there were like a lot of stuff they could have done, like since they could have made a sequel to just the Baroque work stuff. I don't know why they didn't do that. I actually don't mind them reusing the assets, since might as well. A lot of games do reuse assets. I am only against them when they're doing really nothing new with it, or were just never fun to begin with. And in this case, instead of an arena fighter game, they're going for a platformer, which is not a huge leap, but it does create a problem for me.
Which is ironically a problem for me because I don't like platformers. They are a genre to me that are very dull because it's just a brain thing. Like, I know what I gotta do, so performing it is literally dull. I just don't like them. This is also ironic because the last person who I got pinged from didn't even beat the game either. They got stuck at one place where I will mention, but I hope that gets you to the idea of how kind of dull this game is. And this is future me, sort of future me, because I record this when I need to add more stuff in. But in any case, I learned a weird fact. Did you know Bobby Kotick once worked at 4Kids? That explains everything yet nothing at all at the same time. He isn't that terrible, people. He's a literal demon. But with all that being said and done, let's actually talk about One Piece, or the GBA, or Shonen Jump One Piece.
So in the world of One Piece, I actually just realized right now as I was editing and doing all this stuff, we actually don't know the name of the world. But another time, you know what, we'll worry about that some other day. Basically, the One Piece universe basically is a mostly sea-based society, where pirates are a dime a dozen, as it was mostly kickstarted by, well, the execution of the king of the pirates saying, hey, here's where my treasure is, go find it, which made a lot of people try to find it, including our main character, Monkey D. Luffy, as we see his journey begin in the East Blue, and all the way to the Grand Line. The Grand Line is a part of the sea where it is basically insane, and somehow gets crazier later on. However, Luffy is not alone, as he will have a crew to, well, help him survive, as he's pretty much an idiot. So how did this game try to show off this? Well, by being a platformer with 3 levels, each for each island, with the last level being a boss, which is a decent idea and allows for at least the brevity of the areas themselves so they don't take too long, but still give them enough time to be there. And sadly, I don't really have much to talk about because, for the most part, it's a simple platformer, which is only upgraded with the use of Luffy's abilities since he's a rubber man after eating the Gum Gum fruit, model Nico. God, that joke is gonna never make sense to anyone who doesn't know, and it's never gonna get old for me now. However, the most he can add is basically giving him the ability to stretch to platforms and shoot them around the place. There's also Balloon and Spear, but they were literally only used once, and even then, not really. It's not like it's bad either or, the platforming is just basic and very short. Not to drag on, but just fine enough to make you say, you at least spent enough time. There's also combat, which is there, I guess. It does its job. It does allow for a minor distraction from the platforming, but after a while, it got really boring. And with the bosses, which actually did create some sort of challenge, it's overall still there. They are not too hard to fight, but they're at least an annoyance to stop you in your track. And I gotta say, the models from the WonderSwan game are really well done. They're really good. They all do a lot of minor stuff around them that makes them really good, plus all the minor animations around the characters are really well done and well animated.
I honestly really should have talked about the WonderSwan thing, because how long is this video? Not that very long. Weird.
The level design is decent enough. There was never really truly any bullshit moment, well, except 2 moments, but otherwise it's okay. Though it does have a life system, which I don't mind them so much, but for the brevity of this review and not taking so much time on this review alone, I did get an infinite life code for this game just to speed it up a bit, since there are a lot of bottomless pits in this game, and they really can mess up a run, since if you don't have enough life, you'll just be thrown back to the beginning, or just have to redo the entire level. And mind you, there's a lot of knockback and no cancelable attacks, which can lead to a lot of damage, and worse, death. Though I will also have to admit there was only like one time where I ever cheated, which is where we need to talk about how the levels are designed themselves. You see, they're actually very Metroidvania-esque, where you can actually go back and forth through the level, but there are individual levels and will end. They're not leading into the next level. But if you choose to explore, you can gain rewards that don't do much. I'm sorry, there's really not a lot of reasons to explore the levels. so I never did much. But if you ever are exploring the levels and you find these chests, go redo Orange Island level 2. Since if you redo it, you get the key to actually open those chests. Which also, speaking of, there's actually mini events in the game that you can do and unlock, but that depends on what you're doing and what you're unlocking. Say for example, you find Zoro on Baratier. You can bring him to Mihawk on that level and they'll have a little fight together, which is really interesting, but otherwise didn't bother with it much. Yeah, you can find your crew members on the island, but what can they do? Well, the only thing they can do is basically give you free attack for your special gauge down here that can let you do a special attack. But otherwise you really don't need them unless you're using Sanji, which has a special ability where he can heal you, and for certain bosses, it's really helpful. But why mention this? Well, you see, on Arlong Park level 2, you need to find all the crew members before you're allowed to progress, which I didn't. So that meant I would have had to redo the entire level just to find them, which I just said no and skipped the level. That was the actual only time I ever did that, but otherwise, meh. However, I really did thought that I would have to skip the level for Lockdown level 2 because it's an auto-scrolling level. And I gotta tell you now, I hate those the most. Because essentially, instead of taking the platforming at your own pace, the game is forcing you to move forward for no actual reason. It's dumb and I really hate it. I think the only reason why I got past this level was because of the infinite lives. Because without them, I really think I would have been stuck here for way too long. I mean, like, just to tell you how hard this is normally, I didn't actually ever beat this as a kid. In fact, this was the farthest the person who previously owned the game when I was younger ever got. Which is really wow. And it's like only one more thing is really challenging after fighting Smoker, who's called Chaser here, which, Anyway, his boss is a little easy, but has some tricks to him, but otherwise easy enough. But then, there's the lax section, where after beating him, you have to do a running level where you have to just try to beat the game by getting away from Smoker as fast as you can. But he's also invincible, and also there's no way you can defend yourself. You will die if he touches you. It also has a cool theme to it, Smoker's theme here, which actually, speaking about the OST of the game, it's actually pretty good. Like, I was surprised I actually like it. Syrup Village section was actually pretty well done. But I've been rambling on. Let's actually finish this. And after that, the credit rolls, and that's it. There's really not much else to the game than other being a basic platformer, and that's it.
So yeah, this was a short review. I thought I would be having to talk about a bunch of other stuff, but nope, I keep forgetting that this game is really basic. Well, in any case, next time in our One Piece marathon, yeah, I forgot to mention it's a marathon, but screw it, we might as well make it a marathon. Well, sort of, because we got a October and that's locked in, but a whole other time. In any case, I hope to see you next time with One Piece Unlimited World